Tyler.
There you go.
Might learn a little bit of Korean before the night's over.
Right.
Not by me. I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
Oh, hi, Jane. How are you?
All right.
Nice to see you. Did you just walk in? Did you just
No,
walk in?
I was at the restroom across the
Oh,
way.
okay.
I just walked back in.
Okay.
Sister Lane here.
We have half of the VMIC put back together. The carpet's done, and
Oh, is it?
not in the whole thing. Tomorrow they're gonna finish it in the rooms.
Okay.
But the worship space is finished. Looks nice. I think around 3 tomorrow, we're gonna try to move a lot of stuff back.
Oh,
So,
good job.
it is. It was a big job moving it up to the worship space to start with. From all those rooms. And a lot of junk, unnecessary. I don't know.
That's when you make the decision what to keep, what
Well,
to,
it's easy for me to make. But when you got a whole group of people, that's
Yeah.
a little different.
Yeah, it got cleared up pretty fast on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. It took us about 5 hours the other day to move it all up into the worship space, out of all those rooms.
I bet.
Yeah.
How many people?
4.
Yeah. A lot of difference.
It is, yeah.
Got about 20 on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference, yeah. We probably should just call people for tomorrow or something, but,
Guess who I'm running to today? I didn't give a ride.
I kept thinking everything I saw was, I'd say, when in doubt, throw it out. But,
Yeah, I did. There's some stuff there that.
oh,
Oh, that looks good.
I was waiting to pull out into the street there on a quick trip. You know. You need a ride? Yeah. Said she was going there down in Arlington.
All right.
There's a group home there. She'd been staying there while she went down and get her stuff.
doesn't cause any trouble this week, Frank?
he's probably been too busy doing other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Not much.
It's a big yes.
Not much. We're real excited. We're going to have, next year's our 40th anniversary at the Catholic Worker.
40th, really?
Yeah. And we've got Reverend Janice is coming back to celebrate Mass. And Roy Bourgeois is going to be our speaker
Oh, really? Oh, that's great.
Okay, so he might be speaking.
next August.
And
Well,
John
have
goes
it
in
in the
his
house.
trailer. The last one we had was on our pillows, so I guess this
So I
is,
waited for her.
it's not.
Well, they're having, they're doing
No,
this, yeah, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Dropped her off there.
Oh my goodness.
That looks good, actually.
Yes.
But who could compete with Donald Trump?
Been up
None
there.
other
Hardly
than
seems possible.
Frank Cordaro.
Yeah.
If she got out of there, she was saying that.
Hey, which time? Hey, I got a clock.
7:30.
7:31. We're going to wait 1 minute
Oh,
and
my God.
then showtime.
Oh, how are you doing, Elaine? Good. How are you? Good. That makes
She
two
was
of us.
ready to go too. She was all sober and stuff, and she's ready to go to Mac.
Any propaganda from ABC this past weekend?
Yeah. We, I was up at 5:30 this morning, we're doing it painted at 6.
Mid-40s.
And at 3 o'clock.
You guys got any trouble
some
hearing
things,
or seeing? You want to like
back in
sit up here? Easier.
music
Oh, at some point in
Because
time.
I'm just
And
gonna
tomorrow I
use my
have
normal
the
voice.
rest of it
Oh,
back.
I'll be fine.
They think that we got
Yeah.
it tomorrow.
I'll after this one.
So we're hoping
Trying to get people to come
I
up.
said they did, Arnold says, well, I can't be here on Friday or Saturday.
Oh, I'm fine, I'm perfect
Yeah,
here.
things
My
My
leg
sister
works.
Dorothy's
It's
moved
good.
in, has moved
get
into
out
a
of
system.
here.
Yeah.
So don't give up.
So I'm gonna help her unpack. She has no strength in her fingers anymore, rheumatoid arthritis. Can hardly walk.
Well, when she came up,
She's 17.
she hadn't been up to the house in forever.
So it hasn't done as well as she has all these
Showed
years
up on
with
the
that
13th
problem.
Sunday.
But
Good evening and welcome to the American Friends Service Committee's Friends House.
yeah, she's still over spiritual direction.
I just did a little screen test.
So,
This is
yeah,
Jeju Island, is an island in South Korea where a U.S. Navy base is located, and there have been some protests for quite a few months.
Not recently. How's he doing?
And
Much better.
our
Did he
speaker
have-
tonight,
is
Frank
he a bad
Cordaro,
operator?
the head
Oh,
of the
really?
Des Moines Catholic Worker Group,
Or he's
spent
just back
2
to
months
work.
on that island,
Don't remember if he said-
and he has pictures, and we'll be talking about the issues going on this island.
Hey, how are you guys? I'm gonna go with this. We'll see how it goes. All right. So, blah blah
So,
blah. This was like a room of strangers. We'd say who I was and all the other stuff. But this is my first run through. So on this PowerPoint, me and technology. So Jeju Island. It is a island that is 53 miles south of the Korean mainland. You'll see that DMZ there. That's where the North Koreans are. Seoul is up there. You could not be any further in South Korean terms from North Korea than on that island. However, that island is the closest island to the mainland China, which makes it a very important space. Its main city is Jeju City. It's half the size of Rhode Island. They tell us there's 600,000 people here, but the number is higher because there's so much booming economy going on, and a lot of the workers are not Jeju citizens. They come from the mainland or other places. Jeju has history. Of course, every place has history. They have a particular history. It's that when I was there the first week, they make sure everybody gets to this place called the Jeju April 3rd Peace Park. And this Peace Park documents a 1947 U.S.-led counterinsurgent campaign that killed 30,000 citizens on this island before a shot was fired in the North Korean War. Under trumped-up charges that their independent movement was communist. And hundreds of South Korean government soldiers came down here, directed by no more than 10 U.S. military personnel, and that includes the cook and the chef and whoever the other people are with the commander's office. And they practice every counterinsurgent trick that we read about that the United States used. There's a great movie on it. It's called The Ghost of Jeju. They cleared out the whole center part of the island was burnt. All the villages were burnt down. They would not let anybody go into the center of the island until after the Korean War. They could not talk of this incident until 1995. It was illegal. So in American terms, the Korean War is the forgotten war, and then this little thing that happened, we don't even need to remember it to forget it. But the people in Jeju remember it. Their economy, traditionally, it's an agricultural economy. Those are, you go around the island, there's nothing but these greenhouses all over the place. In 1990s, the U.S. dumped a lot of surplus agricultural goods on the South Korean government people and just destroyed their 1950s type agriculture system on the island. And they recruit by specializing in oranges. Now they're the orange capital for the Asian rim. They also traditionally have a fishing industry. This is a market, and that's Jess. And those are lots of odd fish. They're famous for women divers. However, this crowd is like Catholic priests, older, grayer, disappearing. Today, there's a real economic locomotive, however. It's casinos and seaside resorts. It's called tourism. It's a beautiful island, and they are marketing it as a high-end tourist thing for Asia, and it's all, most of it done by Chinese money. The base itself, this is a picture of the base on the wall surrounding the base with the barbed wire. I managed to take it. When it's completed, this base will have 7,000 Navy personnel, 20 warships, docking for 20 warships, including a nuclear-powered U.S. aircraft carrier. Now, they don't say they're making it for a U.S. aircraft carrier. They say that the base is going to be dual purpose and that they're making this berth big enough to hold the largest cruise ships in the world. Now, that's despite the fact that they got a port closer to the airport that is already taking care of all the cruise ships they need. It also is the specs that happen to coincide with a nuclear-powered U.S. aircraft carrier. So that is that's how they sell it as a code thing. Yet it's able. The next ship that they're going to be able to deal with are submarines, and they're building these berths bigger than any submarine they have in the South Korean government. So they're making room for U.S. submarines. This whole thing's being built by the South Koreans, I will tell you. But really, the most dangerous weapon system that the South Koreans already are making and own are their Aegis missile defense destroyer. And this Aegis missile defense destroyer is the lead weapon system for our missile defense shield. And the South Korean warships are identical to the U.S. warships, and they are interchangeable. And this system, 300 miles off the border of China, is an offensive system in the Obama pivot, Asian pivot. So I love seeing them doing this, you guys. Maybe you have to watch it because it's an athletic thing. PE, basketball, pivot. When you're doing a pivot, you stop here and then you go this way. You change direction. You see, it's the Asian pivot. Okay? Now the pivot is like 60% of our imperial military stuff is all going to go to the Asian Pacific for the pivot. So if that is what we're doing with our military hardware, then the lead toe with the lead foot on the pivot foot, that is where Jeju is. An offensive, in-your-face to China operation. This just in, yesterday, first South Korean Navy boat into the Jeju Navy Harbor. That is not an Aegis warrior ship, but it's a prototype. And of course, it was resisted by our friends. The Navy seized 130 acres of farmland, equivalent to 169 football fields, from the port to the river. And that's just an artist's rendition, but generally saying, it just kind of gobbled up 20% right away of a 1,500 people village. Just boom, gone. Right now I have a 30-foot walled fence surrounding the construction. That island is, I'll get to it, walled fence in, more of that stuff. and there is resistance. It has been from the beginning. This is called Tiger Island. It's pristine. It sits right next to the base. It's emblematic of the environmental cost. There's fresh springs that come into the ocean right there at Jeju. And it developed this Grumby rock, which was kind of a unique coral, living coral. It was designated the UN Biosphere Reserved Area. This poster, the destruction of the Grumby rock, is a challenge to human civilization and the creation of God. That's the local bishop's quote about the destruction of the Grumby rock. The Save the Jeju Now campaign folks have been at it since 2009 to now. They've had hundreds and thousands of people demonstrating they wanted to stop the building of this Navy base. They got international fame. Norm Chomsky adopted them. The guy who did the 4th of July. What's the movie?
Are you talking about the movie Independence Day?
Yeah, well, the guy who a movie guy, director, Paul Newman, or not Paul Newman, but just lots of people have been supporting him. But the fact is they lost the battle. Actually, the base is built. So what remains today in this group? Today are Catholics and the peace activists who keep coming out. And the Catholics are an interesting crowd. This is the bishop right here on the left. He's the guy who said that quote about the Grumby Rock. He is against the building of the base, and to back it up, he has assigned his local diocesan parish priest on a rotated basis to say Mass at the base with the peace folks every day. These two guys here, the old guy in the middle and the one to the right, two brothers. They're like the Berrigan brothers. The old guy, Father Moon, he's there every day singing these 3 songs. He's retired and permanently assigned himself there. He's done 2.5 years of solitary confinement during the 1980s, during the uprising to defeat the dictatorship that was going on there. His brother, on his left, who comes in once a month from the mainland, he's famous too, because in 1989, as a priest, he went to North Korea to walk with a South Korean student who crossed over back into the border as a protest to the division of the two nations. It's illegal. They both crossed over, were arrested, and he ended up doing 5 years of jail time. And then the woman that Jess and I are with in the picture, she's a full-time lay social justice minister. Her nickname that we called her was Joan of Arc. The Catholics show up, but they also are supplemented by the peace activists, who are mostly, overwhelmingly women. And they're the ones who keep the place set up and doing things. It's an extraordinary mix of 2 different disciplines, which is unique to for Catholic workers, because we both have a great vested interest in the church and in the peace movement. Daily witness at the gate. It starts at 7 a.m. at the gate 6 days a week, not on Sunday. We do 100 bows prayer meditation over the loudspeaker. It takes about 45 minutes. They're published in the Via Paces. I have copies here. And then we return back at 11 a.m. for Mass and Rosary at the entrance of the Jeju Island base and Korea U.S. Navy base. These photos come from May and June of this year. And the first thing that happens is Father Moon begins the thing with a booming, his first song. He generally sings 3 songs, and all 3 every day during this time. A bilocated Mass in a tent, a half a block from the Navy base's main entrance, where Mass is celebrated, also bilocated. Sometimes with a lot of folks. Sometimes with just a few. Somebody all the time, every day, rain or shine. So where are the police? Standing ready to clear the gate by carrying all the seated people off to the side of the drive, and then surround protesters with a wall of police to allow traffic to flow in and out of the base. Police break into the Mass Rosary singing and dancing about 4 to 5 times during the Mass Rosary dancing and singing. After Mass, in Rosary, the peace activists join hands and line up across the drive. Songs are sung. A line dance is done. Dancing all around the entrance. And then we close with 3 singing and dancing songs led by Wildflower. Got pretty good at this. You do something every day for 2 months, you get it.
So the same dance every day.
Every day, the 3 dances, and then we sing. I have singing in the line dance, and then singing, and then these 3 songs. That's one of them. And they, of course, these words mean something. I don't know what they mean.